Greetings to everyone out there in YouTube land. I'm Ahmed Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it's Lions Talk Live. Guess what? It's the start of week 2 of the NFL schedule. That's right. Tonight, we're going to all be cheering for the Green Bay Packers to fall flat on their face, because you know what? That's what NFC North rivals do. We cheer for the failure of every other team that's not named the Detroit Lions. So, hey, we're going to get into a couple things today during the main topic of the day, during the 5 headlines now, everything in between. As you do see in today's thumbnail, I got a question for everybody out there watching this either live or later on the day. Who's under the most pressure right here, right now, going into week 2? I get it. It is going to be a big game for both the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. You go 0-2. It's not that you can't make the Super Bowl, can't make the playoffs, but you know what? It's not an ideal start to your season by any stretch of the imagination. The nice thing for the Detroit Lions, you're coming home. You probably, without a shadow of doubt, have the more talented team. You just got to get it done. But with that being said, because of the way we played week 1 of the regular season, there are a lot of questions out there. Is the offense needing to be fixed? Is John Morton the right guy for the job? Is Ratledge a good fit on the offensive line as a rookie? And, you know, it's going to be tough for any NFL rookie to come in and make a big impact, let alone in a premium spot like the offensive line. Hey, I know Pierce in the comment section is going to be jumping up and down about this one. Is Marcus Davenport under the most pressure of anybody on that defensive front? Lions invested a whole lot of promise and praise into this guy, put a lot of faith into him. Will he be able to perform? Will he be able to take away some of the pressure from Aiden Hutchinson? We're going to dive into all that stuff. Plus, I'm sure you guys will have some other people you want to say, hey, under pressure as well during the main topic of the day. Before we get on to that, though, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 8 subs away from hitting 14,500. If you can help out with that, man, I'll give you a crisp, clean high five, to say the least. Also, if you got it in you, it doesn't cost even a dang dime. Reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit all the buttons. We try to take every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. So if you can assist with that, I would be thankful. Last but most certainly never least, if you are perhaps, maybe a little bored this upcoming weekend, I mean, the winter is coming around. Maybe you want something good to read. Go ahead and head on over to Amazon.com and eBay or wherever you find great reading literature. Order yourself a copy of Kajora Book. It is the first of the 9-part series. The second part releases later this year. If you enjoy historically accurate novels, but the characters within it are perhaps fictional, then maybe go ahead and check this out. Native American, Japanese, Asian cultures kind of collide, intermingle about 1,000 years before Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. Go ahead and check it out. Maybe you'll like it. If you do, leave a kind review and get ready for the second book's release. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's go ahead and get this show rocking and rolling and going. Kicking off with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming your way. Kicking off with Detroit Lions still trust pass rush. Players have to, quote, step up. Story by John Macaron of SI.com. And yes, well, I think if you're a Detroit Lions fan, maybe you don't have the greatest taste in your mouth after that week 1 performance. The Lions have come out and said, well, it doesn't matter who you're asking on the team, from the coaching staff or the players, they understand they kind of laid an egg, especially in that first quarter against the Pack attack. They gave Jordan Love, 18 Mississippis to sit back, get his, delicious Mountain Dew, drinking his lawn chair while just playing pitch and catch. We can all say what we want about the secondary, the linebackers, the secondary, the safeties, etc. I just think it's hard to guard anybody especially at the NFL level, for more than 2 seconds in man coverage, zone coverage, any kind of coverage, if you can't put pressure on the opposing quarterback. That also being said, it was clear the pass rush was outmatched in the blocking schemes by the Packers. If you go back and watch that first quarter, Packers were keeping 6, sometimes 7 guys in the block. They wanted to make sure Jordan Love did everything he could to just be comfortable and take advantage of what the Lions were giving him. Lions often, especially on third long, we're sending 6 or 7 guys after the quarterback, left a whole lot of single coverage out there, and yes, the Packers took advantage of it. I'll give at least this as a thought, not really pertinent to this story, but while this story does break down some of the people that need to step up, I'm sure you guys can all think of who's on that list out there. I do think the Lions and Kelvin Shepard made some pretty good adjustments in the late portions of the first quarter. After that part, I thought you did rattle Jordan Love a little bit here and there. We all get it. We watched the game. Third quarter, you saw him nearly throw 2 straight interceptions. One of them actually was picked and returned for 6 points, but waved off because of a holding penalty. Say what you want about the holding penalty, it got called. Well, what we can say is Marcus Davenport and a gajillion other people are going to have to find a way to get to the quarterback. It can't all just be put it all on Aiden Hutchinson. He is going to be double teamed, triple teamed, quadruple teamed, whatever it is. Most every team we face is not going to leave him in one-on-one pass blocking assignments from their offensive line. He is going to be doubled, tripled, or whatever until somebody else proves they can win on one-on-ones. I got to imagine this weekend will be no different. Ben Johnson's probably going to go into game plan number 1, say, hey, this guy over here, we block him. Everybody else has got to beat us. Now, question per this story, who can be on that defensive line and get some wins? We'll have to wait and see and find out. All right, Lions running game will improve after week 1, trouncing, but not right away. Sideline reports by Bo Underwood. Never heard of Bo Underwood before, but hey, sounds like some sort of country singer if you ask me. Bo Underwood's story, I think he's right. You go back and watch the tape. The Lions running schemes are different than what Ben Johnson had. I'm not here to analyze it. I didn't always like Ben Johnson's schemes, but when you got talent, man, let me tell you, you can game Scooby-Doo, game, X and O, a whole lot of stuff, game plan, a bunch of stuff to make it look good. Lions offensive line, why didn't it look better? That would be my question. Do Crew, what's your answer? Do you think there's going to be a noticeable improvement week 1 to 2? Well, if you believe Dan Campbell, what he said in his press conferences, I would say they're going to spend a whole lot of time this week and probably the rest of the season trying to develop some of those younger offensive linemen. My opinion, doesn't have to be your opinion. I actually thought Taylor Decker, when you go back and rewatch the tape, looked like the best offensive lineman for the Detroit Lions. Penei Sewell did not look great. Ratledge, well, he looked like a rookie out there. And Christian Mahogany, he had moments he looked good. Other moments he looked like he shouldn't even be on an NFL roster. And with that also being said, Graham Glasgow playing at center, I do not think he played terribly other than miscommunications between him and some of his offensive line compadres. With that being said, the Lions are going to need a whole lot more out of this group every single game. Otherwise, that offense, you know what? It might be in a little bit of trouble. But what say you do, Crew? What would be some of the simple things you would do to try to make this team, even the offensive line, 2% better, 3% better, 5% better going from week to week? If you get small improvements, my philosophy as a coach, even if it's just 1.5% per week, that adds up pretty quickly, and you'll see noticeable returns in both the running attack, the passing blocking, and then obviously the passing attack. All right, let's move on to the next of the 5 glorious headlines now. Lions linebacker, offensive lineman missed Wednesday's practice ahead of Bears game. Something no Lions fan wants to hear is about injuries. And yes, unfortunately, going into week 2, we've already got some injuries popping up. In fact, let's get it on the screen. Let me try to minimize that. As you can see, linebacker Jack the Hammer Campbell missed yesterday's practice. He was in non-practice because of an ankle injury. Will he be able to go this weekend? My anticipation is yes, but if you're going to be a linebacker, somebody's got to fly from sideline to sideline, get into coverage, get after the quarterback. If you don't have great mobility, I would say Cunningham needs to take over, but that's, of course, just my opinion. Doesn't have to be yours. Probably the more concerning of the injuries, and really the only other noticeable injury from yesterday, is Taylor Decker was a no-go in practice. Man, this offensive line, we just got done talking about what they need to do to improve. Missing anyone from the offensive line as far as the starters is not an ideal situation. Detroit Lions need this guy on the field. I actually would say you go back and watch the week 1. He was the best player out there. I do not anticipate that to be the case come Sunday. I would pray that Penei Sewell and other people, jump up in their performances, do better. Why they didn't play better, I'm not here to analyze it right now. We can do that during the main topic of the day. But Taylor Decker, let's hope and pray that he is back on the field sooner versus later, and we'll probably know more today as that happens. If you asked about the Chicago Bears, I couldn't find a neat little, I guess you'd say, graphic, but I did find a clip for you. Let me get this on the screen. It might be too small for somebody to read, but in a nutshell, cornerback Jalen Johnson did return to practice, full participant yesterday after missing all of training camp with multiple ailments. Wide receiver DJ Moore, abdomen/groin, is also doing better after taking a nasty hit late in the game Monday night. Meanwhile, linebacker TJ Edwards, hamstring, and running back Sharon Johnson, foot, are trending in the right direction after missing week 1. We'll have to wait and see what happens with them. It would obviously be beneficial to the Detroit Lions if all these guys going to play, or at least some of them. But at this point, we won't know until probably closer to Friday who's in or out for any of the teams. All right. Lions losing fuels. Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, not outside noise. Detroit Lions on SI by Christian Boer with this one. Like probably any coach, any person watching this show, you do better when you're, got a little bit of fire under your feet. Maybe that's a good way to word it. I don't know. But anyways, you could see in yesterday's press conference, Dan Campbell was asked some questions from different people, different reporters. Most of them were kind of nonchalant, not big news-worthy events. With that also being said, Johnny Macarone from SI did ask a question. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you can Google it. It's on Twitter. It's on probably 50 other different things. Let's just put it this way. Dan Campbell did not have a great response for him, did not seem to enjoy the question. The question was basically, why don't you run the same offense as last year? Jared Goff kind of mentioned some of the terms have changed, this, that, and the other thing. And Dan Campbell clearly got into his feelings about it, although it wasn't disrespectful or anything like that. That also being said, Detroit Lions Dan Campbell has come out multiple times since the Green Bay Packers lost and said, hey, stuff like this doesn't bother me. It gives me more fuel to try to do better as a coach. I would assume that's true with any player, any coach. If you lose, you want to do more, you want to do better. I think Dan Campbell's going to have this team ready to go on Sunday. We all get it. It's going to be a battle, and you got a whole lot on the line with this one. See what shakes out. All right. Tate Ratledge offers strong response following dreadful debut with the Lions. Sideline report. Max tomorrow with this one. Tate Ratledge understands he did not play well. Tate Ratledge understands he's got to do better. And yes, he is going to spend some extra time with coaching staff after practice, etc., in practice, trying to do all the little nuances he can to perform better. If he plays better, if he develops, the faster he develops, this is all good news for the Detroit Lions. I think anybody watching the show understands you've got two pretty good Pro Bowl tackles in Detroit. I'm not going to say either one of them are the best in the league at their spots in Penei Sewell or Taylor Decker, but they're amongst the best in the league. Now, Christian Mahogany, Ratledge, as they grow and develop, this Lions offensive line, we talked about in the offseason, is it going to be last year's line? Probably not, but could it get near it by the middle point of the season or later in the year? I think so. We need the Lions offensive line to develop sooner, though, because we get it. We got a tough schedule. He understands the pressure the Lions are facing. He does not want to be the guy, Ratledge that is, that kind of lets the team down. He wants to get to the playoffs. He wants this team to win a Super Bowl, and he understands he's got to do far more than what he did last week. That's a lot to ask of any rookie. You're a starter. If you go back last year, we did not really start many rookies, if at any at all. Why? Because there were veterans to assume those leadership roles, command roles for the team, etc. This year, though, because of injury, because of retirement, whatever you want to say, Lions do have a lot of rookies out there performing. and rookies typically take time to grow and develop. But what we can say for Ratledge, he's aware he needs to do more. He's going to do everything he can, it sounds like, to try to speed up the process of growth in the NFL. We'll see what shakes out for the young man. All right, all that done, said, wait, let's go ahead and head over to the main topic of the day, see what you guys have to say about all this, and maybe just a little bit more. Let's go there, 1, 2, and a 3. All right, Duke Group, main topic of the day. This is going to be as much, I guess you could say, a game show type situation here as anything else on this show. Who do you think is under the most pressure this week? I didn't put Jared Goff on there because, you know what? I think Goff, could he have played better week 1? Absolutely, for sure. But going back and watching it, I don't know how many quarterbacks would have done significantly better given the fact he didn't have a running game. The pass blocking was not ideal. On Goff, I don't have it in front of me, but I want to say every time they snapped the ball, he had less than 2 seconds. I want to say it was 1.68 or something like that to throw. So, that's an incredibly short amount of time, especially for a team, I should say, against the Packers, who were 90% of the time, maybe it was 95, whatever, not much of the time, were they sending more than 4 people after the quarterback. That means you're constantly dropping 7 people into coverage. You're overplaying the short and longer routes. You were making it tough on them. You were switching coverages. The more you go back and watch that game tape, I give the Packers defense a lot of credit. They made it hard every time you went to the line to ascertain what was going to be available and what not. They kept switching and moving things around. And again, they knew the Lions couldn't really communicate that well. You've got a young, inexperienced line for the most part out there. I thought the Packers played incredibly well, so maybe we should give them some credit too. But outside of Goff, we've already talked about the offensive line a little bit here. Do you guys think Ratledge or Mahogany is under more pressure to perform? Maybe it's fair to say both of them. How about Kelvin Shepard or John Morton? Who's got to perform better in your opinion? I don't want to influence anybody's opinions, but at least in mine, I would say Johnny Morton. Shepard, the first quarter was terrible. No ways around it. Whether you want to blame the coaching, the players, I'll leave that to you guys. John Morton's offense, though, we can say what we want. MCDC in the presser yesterday can say what he wants about, hey, it's the same offense it wasn't last year. I would say at least, everybody can have their opinion. My opinion is that it looked very, very different. With that being said, do you think Shepard or Morton are under more pressure this week? Marcus Davenport, we talked about him briefly, but the Lions put a whole lot of faith in this guy. And this guy has got to stay healthy. He's got to produce. So on the defensive line, outside of Aiden Hutchinson, or maybe you want to throw Aiden Hutchinson out there, who's under more pressure? Is it Davenport? Is it Hutchinson? Is it somebody else on the defensive line? As this team improves, pressure comes off every singular individual and goes more onto the collective whole of the team. Wide receivers, Sam Laporta, we talked about it in the post-game show last Sunday and then the morning after show. I thought he played a pretty dang good game. His run blocking looked, at least in my opinion, better than it has been in his career. Not that he's ever been a terrible Zane Zylstra type run blocker, but I thought he blocked significantly, at a high clip as a tight end. His pass route running, etc., I thought that was very good. Outside of that, though, I don't know if we saw a whole lot of greatness from any of the Lions wide receivers. I say that. I know everybody's going to point out the Tesla catch, pull down in the end zone. All right, he got 3 snaps. He did pretty good on those 3 snaps, by the way. We'll see what you guys have to say. Secondary, Terrion Arnold, man, he got fried a lot. Now, I'm gonna say this for the young man. Going back and watching the tape, I think some of it is a lack of communication between the secondary, the components within the secondary to, talk about and switch off, hand off, I guess you'd say, on some of the screens or whatever, the defenders. That comes in time. I think it will improve. The other part of that is if you're asking guys to play man-to-man and you start getting to 2nd Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 seconds, etc., it's going to be hard to guard anybody at the NFL level. Those receivers, even though I think Green Bay's receivers are not bad, I don't think they're great, but asking somebody to guard somebody for 4 to 5 seconds, yeah, they're going to get open. So does that mean there's more pressure on the defensive front 7 to perform or the secondary to play better? Let me know your thoughts on all this. Everything can be true. Everything can be false. But in this second game against the Chicago Bears, I'm not going to do a breakdown or score predictions until tomorrow's show. That's what we typically do here on Lions Talk Live on Fridays. But who's under the most pressure to have an upturn in week 2 across the team? Offensively, who you got? Defensively, who you got? Coaching, who's under more pressure? Is it MCDC? Is it Shep? Is it Morton? I don't know. Let's see what you guys have to say. All right, Duke Crew, give me a second to slide on over to the comments section. There is no special guest of the day. I assume we're going to have Kurt Steele tomorrow, but I guess I need to check in with him. As you guys know, he got a little bit of a back issue last week, so hopefully he's doing far better. All right, Michael, greetings, salutations, coach and Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride, woo, and back at you, Bo. Good morning, Duke Crew. Thank God for football. Thank God for the Lions, exclamation point, woo, yes. And on the 8th day, God made the Detroit Lions. See, Carrie, morning all, and with you, Henry Moore, time to be a Lions fan, exclamation point, woo, and good to see you. Stephanie, good morning, boys, exclamation point, at work and about to head on out. Listening in while cheering on the team and the Duke Crew, exclamation point, woo, man, we are wounded up in here today. Just greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. The whole team is under some pressure this game. Need to win and look much improved over what we've seen in Green Bay. Believe that. Yeah, 100%. You want to see, I can't speak for every coach out there, but me, myself, here's what I'd say. Every week, I want to see improvement. I use the analogy, I want 1% improvement every week. You do that, man, over a long enough season, that adds up to quite a bit. Look at the Lions season, look at the length of time, that'd be about an 18% improvement. You make anything in life 18% better from when you started to where you're at. You've improved exponentially. All right, anymore. Sorry, let's do this again. Good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Hey, good to see you, Henry. Thanks for that. All right, Trey, what's going to be? That offensive line needs to get right in, or we are in trouble. Let me try that again. The offensive line needs to get right, or we are in trouble all season. Yeah, I do think they'll get better. Now, let's look at it from two perspectives. One, the Green Bay Packers. They've got a pretty good defensive coordinator. They got a really good defensive front, the front seven. I thought going into the game, we talked about it in the pregame show or whatever it was, the lead into the game show. My anticipation was the Packers are going to be like most teams this year. They're going to drop 7. They did that. They played a ton of zone coverage. They rely on their front 4 to get after them. Reasons why I came up with that is, hey, you want to test out that Lions offensive line. You got new parts, new components. How good is it? Well, at least week 1, it's got area for improvement. If most teams we face, if they can get home with 4 or 5 guys, it just makes it tougher for opposing quarterback. Now, you're asking why the running game didn't look better. Also true. If you're dropping guys into the mid coverage, especially your linebackers, and they see a run developing, they now have a clearer view of it and can go downhill on it. I think we're going to face that pretty much every week until we prove we can beat it. So let's hope it does change. But as your point, Trey, as the offensive line performs, this team could get deadly good on offense. Going to need that offensive line to develop, though. Al, good morning, Coach. In your opinion, what area of the Bears' defense is the most vulnerable to our offensive schemes? Right now, I would say it's the linebackers, Al. I think their defensive line is pretty decent. Depending on their secondary, who returns this week, if they get everybody back, I think their secondary is pretty legit. It's pretty good. The linebackers, though, it doesn't appear they're going to have everybody back. I don't think they were great to begin with, so I think you attack them. I think play action would do real well against them. I'm not so sure about up the middle running game until we see more development from our offensive line. If it was me, I would try to attack them with sweeps, etc., outside and wide. Talked about that for months in the offseason. Our offensive line, our strength with it versus a year ago is its mobility. So I would do things to accentuate that. I was surprised we didn't take more advantage of it week 1 against Green Bay. I get Green Bay's very athletic, but I just don't think you've got the line yet where you can just impose your will, hammering it up the middle. From time to time, sure. All the time, maybe not. Cynthia, good morning. Hey, good morning to you too. Sounding very Canadian there. Let's see, Carrie. Let's see, Henry. You say the same thing every day, and it's one thing I enjoy hearing every day because it's so true. Keep on doing what you've been doing. Woo, to you, 100%. I agree with all of that. Bo, I think the new interior O-line has some big butterfly belly moments. I believe they get settled in. Yeah, 100%. Even though Mahogany played last year, it was limited. You were in a great environment for football week 1 of the regular season in Green Bay, and I'm sure Zeitler and other rookies or less experienced people, maybe the entire team, both teams felt a certain way about it. Big Eddie, morning all. O&D Lions have to play much better. We got zero consistent pressure on Love, and we couldn't keep pressure off of Goff. No, I agree. Hey, football 101. Get to the other team's quarterback, protect your quarterback, control those lines. You're probably going to be fine. Johnny L, good morning, folks. I'm back at you. Drake. Sad, Bears look like they are going to have some of those injured players back this week. They do appear like they are going to. At least it's trending that way. I have no idea. There won't be anything official till probably Friday, who's in, who's not. But you know what? I can only speak for myself as coach. When the other team's out there, I want to see them at full strength. I don't want to hear any kind of stuff about, man, we would have got you if we would have had this guy or that guy. Every team plays with injuries. Every team's got depth. My thought is I'd rather have you at full strength. So when he beats you down, there's no question we're the better team. All right. Hookadoo, Henry, I was not going to be a happy camper if you didn't do your usual good morning intro. Yes, keep doing what you're doing, my friend. Stephanie, let's not bring up non-football stuff in here. We all know Coach's thoughts on that. Yes, I'll concur. Let's see, Stephanie, he's the least political person I've ever met. Coach Dan does not want part of the show. No, I don't do politics. I couldn't tell you the difference between one party, the other party, or hat and clown party. I don't know anything about it, and I don't really get into it. Okay, Bo, with Dan putting his reputation out there like that, I think so. Yeah, I think if you're talking about Dan Campbell, I think he has invested a lot into who he's selected to help guide the team, lead the team this year. He wants to see them be successful. Obviously, he wants the team to be successful. I think they will be successful. Doesn't mean we won't stub our toe from time to time, though. Good morning, Duke Crew. One Pride, Johnny L. When was your baby? When you were a baby, was your first word grit? Hey, that's a good question to ask. I said there's nothing wrong for showing a moment of respect. Hey, who doesn't like to have respect? Johnny L, grit, Ryan, and destroy. Let's destroy the Bears. You know, not metaphorically, not physically. Although maybe physically in football you would destroy them. Johnny L, grit, morning to you, Hookadoo. Just I believe in our team. We will regroup and win this week. I like the way you're thinking. Pierce, the person under the most pressure is in the thumbnail for sure. Who could that be there, Pierce? I wondered. I think we're all got wondering minds. Johnny L, let's see. Or the new motto also could be grit, grind, and punish. Hey, let's punish the other team. So, Samo, Hutch needs some help from that D-line. Laughing out loud, Pierce Sargent. He does. You know, and I don't think Hutch played a great game. I don't think really too many Lions played great on Sunday. It's week one, so maybe absolve it somewhat for that. With that being said, I get where everybody's going with the defensive line stuff. Hutch did, in my opinion, according to what I saw on the tape, he did get double teamed or at least single block with the chip block a lot. So to me, I count that as a double. You got to have people win the one-on-one matchups then, and I just don't know with either of our current interior defensive linemen if that's going to happen too often. So that puts a lot on Marcus Davenport, whoever's on the other side. Alquin Muhammad, I'll throw this out there. I thought he played pretty well, but he's not starting. He got limited reps. He got the quarterback a couple times. Gary, I like it. Johnny L. Look at you. It is MPI Pierce. All right. Just Stephanie Wander. Coach D strikes me as a server guy. That kind of vibe. Hey, some could probably say that for sure. Gary, agreed. Sosimo, Man Bear, good morning. Exclamation point. Same to you. Pierce, Hoodoo, that and the classic one is back. Hey, you gotta like classics. Johnny L, no pressure. We will be just fine. I like the way you're thinking. Dre Day, I liked the Decker interview. He knows the O-line was a problem, and they have a plan to fix it. It does sound like it. It sounds like they'll be very focused on it this week. I suspected after that game, a lot of the offensive linemen probably felt, a certain kind of way. We understand we didn't play well, and it probably impacted the game. So you know what you do? You come in this week, you really spend some extra time, a little extra focus on it, and you try to have a prideful moment Sunday against the Bears. I turned 67 today. Well, happy birthday, my friend. And just for you, let's give you a birthday 1, 2, and a 3. Happy birthday, my friend. Henry, Coach should have long hair with a headband like Thor. I'll take that. Once upon a time, I used to have real long hair. I think it was like 14 or 15. Used to have it down to basically my butt. I had it very long hair. I used to enjoy having long hair. Let's see, Gary, happy birthday, Art. I concur. Hookadoo, happy birthday, Art. 5 Fingers Ready, happy birthday, Art. Happy birthday, Art, says Johnny. Manbear, happy birthday, Art. We got a lot of that going on. Mary Smith, good morning, Dan and the Duke Crew. How's everyone feeling this morning? I'm feeling ready for Sunday, Mary. How are you doing? Henry Moore, oh my gosh, exclamation point. Happy birthday, Art. Woo! And same to you, Johnny L. Man, my brain is not functioning yet. You got to get that morning dew, my friend. Let me tell you, go get it at your local Circle K. How are they not a sponsor by now? Carrie, Henry, laughing out loud. Steve, great Mary Smith, hoogadoo. Tip of the morning, Carrie, grit will be the word of the day on Sunday. Oh, yeah, let's unleash the grit upon them. Art, after listening to MCDC and some players yesterday, you can tell they are over the media asking about Ben Johnson. I get it, man. You knew this was coming, right? Once he signed with the Bears to be the head coach. Hey, one Sunday passes. Once we win, probably give it to Tuesday and everybody will start moving on. Although it's going to come up again when we face them later in the year. Mary Smith, happy birthday, Art. Blessing for many more. I like the way you're thinking. Let's see. Spirit of Detroit podcast has a link. We're linking to something. France, where can we attack the Bears the best? I would say if you're talking about our offense, I would say play action, but you've got to be able to hold up some in the running game. It's hard to run play action if you can't run the ball because then nobody's biting on it from the second and third layers. If we can establish some kind of run, I do think because we're talking about the Bears linebackers, my opinion, being their weakness, I think you can play action them a whole lot. So we'll see if that happens. So, Spirit of Detroit podcast got a tape. Don't lie on Aiden Hudson on my channel. Feel free to check it out. We will check it out, my friend. Good to see you this morning. Look at Avery. Good morning, Mr. Grit! Exclamation point. Art, my birthday wish is a big W on Sunday. We'll see if we can get you a big W. Mary, Avery, good morning. Spirit of Detroit, France attack the left tackle and QB. Hey, let's see if we can get to both of them. Let's see. Carrie, morning, Mary, and hookadoo. Spirit of Detroit, good morning, Mary Smith. Hey, got to get Queen Mary's in the house. Jerome, Tesla might be the jump ball receiver we need where he doesn't have to always be open. Just jumps up and grabs it. Might even get us some easy pass interference flags. To your point, Jerome, I think that's an outstanding point. Last week, I get he was sick, so maybe that impacts things. But you think about in that first half, a couple times, and in the third quarter, too, when we got in the red zone, if he had more reps, do you think maybe we could have used him in the red zone? I think so, because you look at him, you look at Sam Laporta. Again, I get most people do not realize Jameson Williams is 6'2". Most cornerbacks across the NFL are really 5'9" to 5'10". There are some 6 foot or taller, but the vast majority of them are. I anticipate, Jerome, to your point, you could see some deep shots or, shots in the red zone thrown up there. Basically, either Tesla can get it or it's, going into the first row or whatever. Cynthia, Art, good morning. Yes, a lot of us are tired of them asking too. Yeah, about Ben Johnson for sure, man. Tori Apple, let's restore that roar. We're going to do that Sunday. Hookadoo, ladies and gentlemen, please bow for the Queen of Grit, Mary Smith. 100%. There you go. Dre Day, Caleb. Likes to run to the sidelines when the pocket collapses, but his accuracy isn't the best, so it might be best to only rush 4, leave a spy from a linebacker, and man up in the 6 spots. We'll see what they do. It'll be interesting to see what Shep comes up with, right? Detroit, I think we win. I don't like where the line is and feel 0-2 is coming. All right. So we win, but we lose? I don't know where you're going with that. Maybe I'm misreading it. Mary Smith, to all my gritty brothers, good morning. It's that time to do what we need to do. Let's barbecue some bear meat. Hey, let me tell you, Mary, bear meat with a little bit of hot sauce is not actually that bad. Johnny, we will prevail, so stop with the worrying. I will get rid of all my worries. Spirit Detroit got a Bears breakdown on my channel as well. We'll check it out. Pat, I don't look prepared week 1. There's some things that I can say I was surprised we weren't better at, but it was week 1. How to beat Ben Johnson? Been up for a day or two. We'll check it out. Mary Smith, hookadoo. Let's see. Dre Day, Spirit of Media are hypocrites. They say the Lions go 0-2. The season is over, but the Chiefs are 0-2. No panic. They are fine. It happens, man. Dre Day. I can remember. I shouldn't say a lot of teams, but I can remember several teams in the years I've covered the NFL for different publications or whatever, starting 0-2 and making the playoffs or winning the Super Bowl. I remember there was one season, I want to say the Dallas Cowboys were like 0-2, 0-4, something like that, and they still won the Super Bowl. I don't quote me on all that. Anymore, I can make a fine bear meatloaf if I do say so myself. We'll send it on over. We'll all enjoy some. Mary Smith, Spirit of Detroit, thumbs up. Hookadoo, now we have Mary in the kitchen cooking up for Sunday dinner. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. Hey, you want to send me any of that food? I will eat it. Just Spirit of Detroit podcast. You think we're going to win, but you say 0-2 is coming. Yeah, it could be a bye. Yeah, all right. We'll see where he'll clarify maybe. Johnny L, the facts are the facts. We know what we have to do, and they will stop all of this nonsense. Yeah, get a win. We'll stop a whole lot of nonsense. Bo Booth, 0-2 is coming for the Bears. Ooh, I see what you did there. Benjamin, OC, because he did nothing against the Packers. It was pop warmer play calling. I was a little surprised by some of the play calling. You know, maybe there was a reason behind it. I would love to hear his logic behind some of the formations and setups. But you know what? They're not going to probably let me get in front of that mic to ask him. Johnny O, right on, Bo Booth, hookadoo. The Bears will be in the basement where they belong! Exclamation point. I like that. David, the Tesla TD streak is at 1. How many weeks in a row will he score? Hey, let's say until he retires. So give it about 12 more years. Coach Rock, good morning, Drew Cruz. Same to you. Big D, morning. Oh, Johnny L, peace out. I just can't deal with the negativity this morning. Catch you tomorrow morning. I didn't think we really had too much negativity. Maybe I missed something. Brian, good morning, Drew Cruz. Same to you. Dunk Kong, huge fine. A huge game against the Bears. Yes, it is this weekend. Yes, it is indeed. Good to see you this morning. Gary, how loud was it for Stafford? Just watch how loud for a bend over. Ooh, that's a good point. We made it incredibly loud for Matty Stafford. Let's see if it gets even louder for Benedict Johnson. Look at Rock, the man, the myth, soon to be a legend of grit. Exclamation point. Good morning. And with you, Don Kong, there's no way we're going to Baltimore and winning. This week is a must. Yeah, could be, man. I'd say you got to, with this team, you got a chance every week. I get the Baltimore Ravens look good week 1, but you know what? A lot can change between week 1 and 2, let alone week 3. Brian, can't wait to beat the Bears. Me either, my friend. Miles Margaret, greetings, salutations all. It's Get Right Week. Keep the faith. We will keep it, my friend. Good to see you. JC, greetings, salutations, do crew. Exclamation point. The O-line is under the most pressure. Their performance will dictate whether or not Morton is successful in his role. Yeah, I'll go with that. Great day. If they didn't invest a lot of money, though, in Davenport, financially worth the risk. Yeah, I get that part. I mean, you basically got him for peanuts. But I probably, like most Lions fans, were surprised they didn't add more to the defensive line depth as far as pass rushing abilities. Bosberg, great morning, hookadoo, Coach Rock, and all the Lions sisters and brothers, and back at you. Let's see, Don Kong, huge Redskin fan today, exclamation point. Woo, you ain't the only one, man. I will pay attention to that and wish the Redskin, the Commander as well. Kurt Steele, what up, Duke Crew? What's up, man of Steel? How you doing today? Avery T, good morning, day on the Duke Crew. Listen, if you continue to demonstrate that we cannot neutralize mobile quarterbacks, we'll be 0-4. Hey, let's hope we can. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. We'll see what they have in the games. Coach Rock, and a great morning, hookadoo, Miles, Mario, Mary, and Johnny, and all the new members. And back at you all. Leo, all last year, D looked good, just hurt. I'll go with that. And offense, did not see either this year. I'm not worried. Yeah, we'll see what shakes out. I'm not worried until I got a reason to be worried. Gary, Dunk Kong, funny today, exclamation point. Hookadoo, and Miles Murray has a tap dancing his way into the room of grit, exclamation point. Good morning, sir. Mary Smith, good morning, Rock. Dunk Kong, do we go defensive end or tackle or center with our top 5 pick? We'll find out, my friend. You got to have a top 5 pick to get it. I don't think we're going to be in the top 5. Spirit Detroit podcast, Kurt Steele, how are you? We'll find out. James, AVT, good point. We've always had problems with mobile quarterbacks. Yeah, a lot. I mean, I get everybody's point with that, but the more I watch other NFL games, I don't think we're the only ones that have problems with it. You look at even, the Minnesota Vikings. I think they've got a pretty aggressive defense, and they were struggling to contain Caleb Williams a lot of different times. It's just, I think, a problem for most defensive coordinators. Donkey Kong, when Mike McDaniels gets fired, he could be our new offensive coordinator. Man, Donkey Kong, you are already ready for the free agency in the NFL draft. I like it, man. Way to be forward thinking. Henry Moore, good morning, Professor Steele. I'll go to Professor Steele, top of the morning. Bo, Mr. Underwood has a great first name. I figured you might like that. Dre, how is the mobile quarterback thing accurate when 28 of 32 teams' quarterbacks are mobile, but their teams went 15-2? But our team went 15-2. That's a good question, man. You got talent. You find a way to win, even if you don't have a mobile quarterback. Mary, where's my Queens of Grit this morning's checking in? We'll find out. Big M, I thought our future tackle was Manu, so you're telling me that our coaches might have failed another project. Enough with the project draft picks. We'll find out. I don't know what's going to happen with Manu. And the only thing I'll say about draft picks, guys, I'd say the Lions hit on way more than they miss out on. And I get everybody gets up in arms about, what's his name, Broderick Martin and Hendon Hooker. Great, you missed 2. Find another NFL team in the last 5 years that has only missed on 2 guys. You know, I hopefully you get my point. We are right far more than we're wrong. See, good morning, Queen Mary. How are you today? We'll find out. Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. Woo! Back at you. Robert, Hank Fairley has his work cut out for him this week. Defense will be okay. Beat the Bears. I like the way you're thinking with an exclamation point there, Robert. Mary, Cynthia, I'm good. Good morning. Don, I think if Manu is a solid backup tackle, it's a win. He's backup now, isn't he? He is currently the backup. Yes, he is not a starter. Henry Moore Jr., okay. I think the offense should have played more preseason. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Regardless, that's the past. I hope they learn to step up. After all, we've not lost 2 in a row in a while. Yes, agreed. I'm with you. Can't worry about what didn't happen. Got to worry about what's in front of you now. Let's see, Gary. Yes, he is soon to be the starter. We'll find out. Coach Rock, happy birthday, Art. I all agree with that. Michael, we're not allowed to have a difference of opinion. Yeah, everybody is. Or you'll get crucified in chat. Been watching for well over a year. Don't talk much, and will be my last comment. All right, I don't think anybody's disagreed with you, Michael, but if somebody's disagreed with you, let me know. But I haven't seen any of that. I think we usually have pretty healthy chats on the channel. Big M, but he is a backup, debatable? Yeah, for right now he is, but I can also remember the vast majority of the time people were drafted prior to maybe like the last 15 to 20 years, the expectation was you would be a backup for several years before you became a starter. And I think the Lions typically try to do that this year because of different circumstances. You do have some rookies starting. Lauren, Johnny Mac, definitely rebuttal MCDC wrong yesterday. Yeah, he did rub him wrong yesterday. 100% Johnny Mac did. Don Conk, Michael, we need to hear from you more in here, buddy. Yeah, I'd say so. 100%. Egon, if Green Bay doesn't look sore tonight, then we didn't play Lions football last Sunday. Probably a lot of truth to that. Till then, John Macaron likes to press buttons and stir the pot. I'll go with that. Some reporters do, because it can lead to better stories or content. I would say to everybody, try to remember the job of some reporters, they view it as, I got to produce content that gets a lot of people to buy the newspaper, or I guess, on YouTube stuff to get a lot of views, because that's how I stay employed. I'm not saying it's the right way to do journalism. I'm not saying it's the wrong way. Just there are going to be people that do it that way or others. Johnny Macaron, I like him. I think he does good work. But yesterday, obviously, he hit a button. JK, last 2 questions was kicker in the presser. There you go. Cynthia, agreed. Attila. Hookadoo, yeah, speak your mind, Michael, 100%. You're always welcome to speak your mind as long as it's not about politics in the show, speaking about anything. So, all right, May Smith, Michael, you can have a different opinions. It's not that you can't. We just ask to be respectful. Oh, yeah, I'll go with that. Henry Moore, absolutely, Henry. Well, and I like the coaches on the field. I concur. Carrie, Attila, so true. Central Scrutinizer, have a great day, Coach and Duke crew. Woo! Let's go, Lions. Exclamation point, and back at you. Hopefully, you have a phenomenal one. JK, all right, truffle butter. There you go. Let's see, Coach Rock. As far as Lions, will sit back and observe them and try to keep quiet about what I see, but I hope for a lot of grit and a big win. Yeah, I'd say we're all on that same page, Coach Rock. Mary, it was funny to me. Coach Campbell got a little heated yesterday. Never seen Coach turn that red that fast. I bet you he won't push that button again. Yeah, to me, you could see Campbell got physically. I mean, he wasn't disrespectful or mean or anything. You could see his attitude change a little bit. You could see it on his face. And then the PR assistant running it in the background was like, all right, we're gonna cut it here. I mean, I think that person understood MCDC. Got a certain feeling at that point. All right, with all the shade being thrown, I think John Morton is under some pressure. I have faith in him, and he will step up to the plate. I hope so, man. I think we're all hoping so. Gary, back at you, Central Scrutinizer. Miles Martin, me too. Art, Central Scrutinizer. The whole team is under pressure for the opening loss. It is the nature of the beast. It's way too soon to throw anyone under the bus. One pride, it takes more grit. I'll go with that, and I think you're 100% right. The expectations for this team are pretty high this year. So you lose opening week, man, you don't want to go 0-2, to your point, Central Scrutinizer. Kim, Johnny Moe kept running the same play without making adjustments to change the outcome. He definitely needs to improve. Calls were not to the strength of the players. I'll go with that, man. Let's see. I think they should see if the Eagles will white out Z signing and bring Z back. We'll see if they do that. Big M, I hope they show some grit Sunday because we sure didn't see any in Green Bay. Yeah, all right. We'll see if we can step up our game. Mary Smith, do y'all think Coach brought BTA in the meeting after Sunday's game? It is possible for sure. Finney 524, greetings, salutations, Duker. I agree, Don Kong. I saw that about McDaniels and thought MCDC should grab him up if he gets fired. They seem to have a lot of respect for each other. Yeah, I don't know about any relationship with them, but maybe if Morton flames out this year, maybe they will look for someone like him. Son Scrutinizer, run that ball. Let's see if we can get more than 3 yards a carry. That's, I think, ultimately what killed the running game. We just weren't productive with it. Curtsia, I'll be there. And hey, that sounds like good terms for a song. Leonard, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. The O-line has to improve drastically and is under the most pressure. Time of possession was awesome, but needs TDS in the red zone. Yeah, need TDs in the red zone for sure. Let's see, JK Morton was paid to lose that game. Maybe. No, yes, McDaniels will fit right in. That's what Danny wants to do. All right. Black J.R. Jones, great. You got to have some grit in your morning dew. Spirit of Detroit podcast got a Aiden Hudson film study on my channel. I feel like we'll have to check that out. Coach Tiny K, everyone needs to step it up and not be emotional when they mess up. Do better! Exclamation point. Like MCDC said, our expectations are higher now! Exclamation point. But I'd like to see OC get on the field and out of the booth. Yeah, why people stay in the booth or on the field, I guess everybody just has their own way of doing things. Coach Rock and bringing the grit, Mr. Steele, Miles Marker will check it out. Spirit of Detroit podcast. I concur. Mary, Coach Tiny K agreed. Benjamin, don't forget these guys average over 30 points a game. Did they ever score under 20? It's been a long time. I know somebody somewhere was talking about it. And in all the years Ben Johnson was here, there was, I think, one game that he scored only 3.5 points. And John Morton obviously has matched that in one game as an OC. Gary, watch when Aiden gets loose. Let's hope he gets loose a lot this week. Vern, Coach, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Exclamation point. Coach, do you think Ben Johnson had the Bears line up before we lost in the playoffs games? Had the Bears line. So if I understand your question right, Vern, no, I think he already he knew he was getting the Bears job. Yes, I do. I think while nothing could be official, obviously, until the season was over for the Detroit Lions, he'd already interviewed with the Bears. I'm fairly certain they told him, we want you. So he probably knew he was going to accept the job. Okay, Tanya, I'm on the same page as that. Exclamation point. Job. I knew where you were going with that. DM5, we need to win this 0-2 and 0-2 in the division. Start to look bleak real fast. MCDC, Shep, and Old Man Morton better bring their A game. Ben Johnson wants nothing more than to embarrass us big time. Yeah, I agree with that. Ben Johnson, the Bears, no different than the Green Bay Packers. You've been run over by the Lions for a few years now. You want some payback. JK, you got Hutch playing great before season-ending injury? Question mark. Oh, I bet it's good. Okay. Let's see. Leonard, Coach, seeing Bennett Johnson and J-Mo offense go head-to-head in week 2 is crazy sometimes. Can't wait for the game. The tape will not lie. I'll go with that. Good to see you, Leonard. Okay, Verno, he totally threw that game. Might be accurate? Exclamation point. I don't know. Center Scrutinizer, prefer running knuckles first. We started out on the wrong foot, proverbially, when you needed things to run efficiently and you change your lead off hitter, it affects the whole lineup. Oh, okay. C note, can't ignore the fact that past 2 Super Bowl champs had mobile quarterbacks and 1 MVP. 15-2 is cool, and Super Bowl appearance would be better. I would like the Super Bowl appearance. Yes, indeed. Mary Smith, I said the same thing. Hogadoo, Iceman. John Macron SI sure likes to talk a lot about himself, just saying. Could be. Yeah, I don't know the guy personally, so you might be right, Iceman. I don't know him. Don Kong, happy birthday. I agree with that. Any more? Yep, he totally threw that game. All right, me. Don Kong, Iceman, the DOC, the doc, laughing out loud. Brett, happy birthday. Art, Coach Rock, hopefully there will be a lot of rust left on the practice field this week. Woo! I'll go with that. Yeah, shake off that rust. I see what you're saying. Oh, dude. He was guilty as sin. Mary Smith laughing when Goff got that hit to the head. I do seem to remember him laughing about it. It's unfortunate that hit happened on Goff and wasn't even penalized for sure. Hogadoo, I agreed. Leo, More Montgomery too. Yeah, it did seem like the second half they tried to use him a little bit more up the middle, and I thought it had some, more noticeable results than what we saw in the first half. Mary, yeah, and I think Goff should have sat his butt down. I'm sure he had a slight concussion and would have kicked butt. Ben Johnson, myself, yeah, I'm guessing Goff was a little out of it. To your point there, Mary, why they got him back in the game, I don't know. I guess they just felt like he was the best option, but I guess we could debate that forever. Dominic, good morning from Texas and back at you. Hopefully you have a great start to your day. Brian, yes, agreed. More than Monty. We'll go with that. Faris, 28. Who has the advantage? Ben Johnson because he knows our team, or us because we know Ben Johnson? Like a do/call in certain situations. It's a fair question. And I don't really know if there's a distinct advantage one way or the other. The only thing I can say is if Ben Johnson feels like he already knows what Shep's going to call, maybe that's a bigger advantage for him as a more or less the OC. I don't know. We're going to have to see how things play out on Sunday. Mary Smith, Dominic, good morning, and back at you both. We're going to do, if we're going to run the ball, our offensive line needs to open holes. I agree. They did not give many holes to be open. And hey, we all know the notes at this point. Was it 22 running plays, 16 times we're hitting the backfield behind the line of scrimmage before first contact happened. It's hard to have any success running when that's going on. Burns, how do you beat Ben Johnson? Give him a loyalty test. Ooh, shots being fired. Johnny Gas, good morning, Duke Crew, and back at you with an exclamation point. DM5, if the offensive line looks bad against Sheepo, Brad Holmes needs to trade for a starting lineman. Mahogany or Ratledge can be good, but it takes time. Yeah, it does take time. Ooh, who could you get, and what would you have to give up? These are great questions there, DM5 TV. Mary Smith, morning, Johnny Gaz, Johnny L. I'm back. Sorry about the anger. I'm having a very bad day so far. Hey, you need to go to your local Circle K and get a delicious Mountain Dew. Get it from the fountain, not from a can or a bottle, though. That's my wise words of wisdom. Half diet, half regular, then it's only half the calories, right? Dre Day, I don't believe there are any good linemen on the free agency, and it's hard to trade for one of those players. Yeah, to your point, it's hard to go out and get somebody unless that team really just is trying to tank this year. If that offensive lineman or whatever you're trying to get, it's hard to get quality players at this point in the year because everybody believes they've got a shot at the Super Bowl. 2 or 3 weeks from now, a month from now, somebody's checking out. Maybe they're willing to give up stuff for draft picks. All right, Paulie, what is the over-under if Goff plays will abandon after the scripted play falls? Go Lions. What is the over-under for plays Goff will abandon after the scripted play fails? Man, that I don't know, Paulie. That I don't know. So we'll see when somebody can get us a line there. Rock, Johnny L, hoping all gets better. It's tough to quit habits this time of year, too. I'll go with that. Brian, thinking playing starters in preseason a little would help. I've offered my thoughts for several years on this show. Every coach is going to have a different mantra. I get it. Mine is I play my people in every preseason game. I want to know week one in any sport, when we get on that field, court, or whatever it is, in the swimming pool, I want to know we are as prepared as possible, as much as I can make us prepared. But, to MCDC's point, his thing is he wants to keep the big guns healthier. And maybe in a long NFL season, maybe there's more validity to that. I don't know. I don't know. Mary Smith, love you. Love over here for you, Johnny L. It will get better. I'm applying some grit for you. Hey, there you go. And thank you. DM5, Dre Day, Cheapo Brad Holmes should have addressed that as soon as Ragnar retired. Yeah, and I get your point on that, DM5. The only thing I've gone on record saying, you guys can have different opinions. This is just my opinion. I understand Ragnar probably tried to power through as late in the season, see if he could give us one more year as much as he could. Obviously, got to the point and just said, I just physically don't have it anymore. The downside is it was after free agency had concluded and after the draft. So as a Detroit Lions, you're really limited to go out and what you can do to acquire a starting level center. Most teams aren't going to give up theirs unless you overpay because they all believe the same thing. We're going to the Super Bowl this year. Henry Moore, Johnny L., we all that kind of morning, just a PMA, positive mental attitude, exclamation point, go Lions. Thank you for explaining that because I had no clue. Phil, greetings, salutations, and back at you, Philly. Dre Day, he's not that cheap. Paying J-Mo contract as soon will be Hutch contract. In my opinion, he spends it on what he feels the team needs. Remember, Brad was back-to-back GM of the year. I'll go with that. There you go. JK, loser mentality. If you want another OC for one, just after one loss, yeah, I will say there has been some overreaction, at least in my opinion. Doesn't have to be your opinion. about, hey, we lost the game. Let's fire everybody. Let's work on, draft pick status. I mean, if your expectations are go undefeated, and that's going to be the mantra for being a successful season, you're going to be more disappointed than not. Use the Philadelphia Eagles as a footnote. Last year, they were 2-2 in the first 4 games. That did not stop them from winning the Super Bowl. And 5 Dre Day, you should have been a Super Bowl winning GM Roseman. Yes, Brad Holmes is cheap and arrogant. He's going to bite him soon if he hasn't already. Okay. Charles Sunday, Bears down or whatever. Exclamation point. One pride coach and back at you. Bo, beat the cheap drum. I'll try to do that. Down again, Prime. Under pressure, question mark. After 1 game, win versus the Bears, and we're 1-1, same as last year. Great point there, my friend. Very good point. Dre Day, time will tell. The season just started, so it's hard to say definitely that Brad did a bad job constructing the team yet. Yeah, give it the season's totality. Kerry, Johnny L., I have faith in you. It's all going to work out for you. Relax, grab a drink, sit for a second, take a couple of deep breaths. You know today was the hardest day. Tomorrow's a little easier. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Hey, but I think Morton needs to be on the sidelines. We'll see with that with the players. Hey, you'd be able to read the players better, wouldn't you? DM5, I would think most would agree we should have addressed the offensive line when Ragnar retired. He would have kept Zettler too if he wasn't pinching penalties. Yeah, who knows, man, about the Zettler thing. I wonder, to your point, DM5, could we have paid more to keep him to stay? Zettler came out and said he just wanted to be closer to his family. That's the tough part. If it really wasn't a dollars and cents thing, then you probably had to let him go. What could you have done, though? I guess that'd be the question to ask about Ragnar. If you guys have some thoughts, maybe there's something I'm not considering, let me know in the comment section. YouTube user, D-line/run game coach sure isn't off to a good start. Too bad our last got the D coordinator job at the Pats. Okay. Let's see. Coach Rock. Game tonight is on a channel I don't get. Dang. Watch my language. Yeah. I'm guessing it's on Amazon Prime. So yeah, maybe that'll be difficult for some. Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Back at you. David, instead of the booth. There you go. Mary Smith. David, I agree with you. Hoogadoo. I don't get it either, Rock. I'm hoping Green Bay goes down hard. Let's all hope for that. Prime, agreed. Sitting in the booth doesn't fit our culture. Might be true. Dominic Broderick Martin was our 96th pick. That not a miss. That was spot we were hoping he comes along. Hendon Hooker was more of a bust with the 68th pick. Yeah, I'll go with that. Great day. Zettler wasn't a money thing. He wanted to be closer to his home. Zettler's words. Ragnar retired at the draft. Hard to plan when you think you have someone until you don't. Not knowing everything is that simple. Yeah. That's and it's no disrespect to Ragnar. I just think the timing of it was not ideal for us. J.K. David, he needs to be forced to be in the sidelines, not booth, and porta body, both. I agree. Yeah, there are college, professional, high school, I'm sure too. There are a lot of coaches that operate up in the booth. There are some on the field too, though. Dre Day, Ragnar, I knew we were going with that. YouTube. So a few more million wouldn't have tempted Zeitler? I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't. I mean, maybe he's got enough where it's not a thing for him. Coach Rock, True Hookadoo, we need a favor from Washington. YouTube, a massive flattery. Okay, could be. We'll try to do that next time. Well, there's some folks who are not fans of Brad Holmes. No matter what he does, it's wrong. I'll go with that. I mean, the only thing I could say is he's the best GM we've had in my lifetime, and that's no disrespect to some of the 80s or 90s GMs. I thought those guys, for the most part, were good. I just didn't like some of their division between the front office and the coaching staff. There was a huge one. And if you were ever on the sidelines of the Silver Dome reporting games or then go to the pressers afterwards, it was noticeable. Let's see, Mary, Coach Rock, and Hookadoo, I'll let you know when I went. I can't wait to see how it goes. Let us all know. Kerry, I miss him too, Dre Day. Zeller said he wasn't in it for a paycheck. He just wanted to be near family and his point in his career when asked. Yeah, maybe that's all it was. Big M, Morton is old school. He learned reading the defenses from the booth. He can't see defense on the sideline. I highly doubt he moves down. I'll go with that. Yeah, and if you feel you perform better up there, then stay up in the booth. Coach Rock, thanks, Mary. DM5, exactly. Money talks and Zeitler walks because Brad is cheapskate and free agency. YouTube user, yeah, but he took a major increase in Tennessee. Did he? I don't remember that part. James, sorry that I'm late getting on here. Hey, no worries with that. You just join whenever you've got time, my friend. And thank you as always, James. Johnny, I have faith in this whole team. Me too. Hook-a-doo. Always looking out for you, Grip brothers and sisters. Mary, William, honestly, the whole team is under pressure to play better. Ooh, that could be a hot take right there. Carrie, so true. Bo, Kim, don't care if OC is in the booth or on the field as long as he gets the right results. Change what doesn't work when needed. There you go. It's a great day. All I do is take a player's word over assumption. If a player says this is why he made a move, who am I to think money would change it? Yeah, that's fair to say. Big M, I agree. Kim, Big Belly Lou, I think it's going to be more the same until they prove me wrong. Yeah, until they prove wrong, the trend is maybe not a friend right now. YouTube viewers, I worry about the OC as soon as the system gets to work with an O-line that plays well. Comparing him to Ben now is ludicrous. Excuse me. Yeah, one of the advantages Ben Johnson obviously had versus John Morton right now is the offensive line is a wee bit different. DM5, just like Colesby and Garrett, both talked big, but wanted nothing more than to get paid. I don't see anyone playing for free now. Do you? No, I don't know if I have seen anybody play for free. Johnny L, I love you guys and always will. Exclamation point, back at you. Master Brent, hey, Coach Dan, just check in. No, let's see. Everything is going to be all right. We will we'll go deep into the playoffs. God bless those Lions. Exclamation point, back at you. Thank you for being a part of the show this morning. Grady, I think all the players after 30 would not be looking for money anymore. It's past their prime. Maybe true. Grady, except for quarterback, of course. Back at you, Johnny L. Phil thought Morton was a passing scheme guru, question mark. That scheme was high school level. Might be accurate. Leo, and what happened was Sonic and Knuckles in split backs, putting your best on the field to create matchup problems. We haven't seen it yet. That's what I think we all agree. Bo, scheme doesn't matter if players don't execute. That's true. One thing I learned a long time ago. Players don't have skills. They don't perform. The X and O's don't matter. Phil, Goff needs time to throw the ball. I would probably agree with that somewhat. Let's see, Silent DM5 TV, you need to find a new team. Johnny L, I believe that my dementia is getting worse. It might happen, man. I'm sorry to hear it if that is accurate. Phil, I'm beginning to see why MCDC has not been Coach of the Year. DM5 TV, Silent Service. No, I have expectations and I have eyes. The team is ready to win now. Anything less is unacceptable. T-Bone Lokes, hey, talking about something I haven't seen a hot second. Actually, the backstory came out that Ragnar delayed his announcement to give the Lions an edge in the draft. Ooh, yeah, you might be right on that. Now that you mention it, I do seem to recall it. Pastor Ben, Coach Dan for Offensive Coach 2026. Hey, if that happens, man, I'll tell you this. We're bringing back the run and shoot. Phil, what do you do? 1, 2, 3, throw the ball, but a simplistic scheme means everyone is covered. Steven, with Detroit Lions, the standard is the standard. Winning is the expectation. We're not the same old Lions. I'll go with that. Okay, it's tough getting old, Johnny L. I'm right there with you, but we've got grit. Exclamation point. I concur. Silent Service DM5 TV, you complain just to complain. Johnny L. Hookadoo, yes, we do. Phil, if you think Morton doesn't have coaching on the sidelines, you are mistaken. Yeah, all right. DM5, Silent Service, we've done nothing. We've missed 2 opponents to play/win in the Super Bowl. Teams get better every year, as you just saw in the beat down last Sunday. The window isn't open forever. No, it closes, especially in the NFL. It seems like it closes very quickly. Anymore, a glorious day and many blessings to you, all my friends. Go Lions! Exclamation point. Back at you. What is Goff supposed to do, Phil, if the receiver isn't open? Silent Service. Last year we were injured we're too injured to win DM5 TV. And this year just started, so to be so negative. Yeah, to be so negative. Debo Lokes, Goff said that it is foolish to think that Morton needs to be on the sidelines. Goff did what he did. Check down. Gary, happy trails. Do crew. Have a safe Thursday. Stay safe, everyone. And go Lions. Back at you. See you next time, Bo. Happy trails. Do crew. All done and dusted for another day. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Victoria, what is it? We need to have communication and Goff about 3 seconds in pocket. Brent, one pride worldwide. Exclamation point. I concur. All right, guys, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get over to you as quick as possible. If you would be so kind before checking out, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Do something kind for someone you don't know. Be a good human being. And we'll see you guys all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. Have a great one.